Hey guys, I hope you are well. For Monday night, I thought I would go through some of the final exam questions that are on the My Open Math website. There's over 200 of them, so I just thought I would look at a few of each type of problem and see if hopefully that will help some of you. And then on Wednesday night, you'll have to present your papers to the rest of the class if you haven't done that yet. As part of your final grade. So make sure you're prepared on Wednesday to share with the class. And what else? So then your final exam is next Monday, the 7th. I'm pretty sure it starts at 6 o'clock. And so you might want to double check with Mr. Thomas as far as the time goes. So Wednesday we'll meet live. And then that'll be our last class. So I've enjoyed this semester getting to know you guys, and I know that you're going to do great going forward. And I'm just proud to be a little bit of part of your college experience. All right, so let me share my screen with you and we'll go through some of these problems if I can find it. Here we go. All right, so we start off with unions and intersections. And so we obviously hit on these at the beginning of the semester. And so remember that union is a number that are in either of the sets, okay? So the answer, which I have already opened over here for you, is any number that shows up in any set. So they just listed simply all of the numbers from set A and then went straight forward and listed the numbers in set B. They didn't even put them in order. So pretty simple, right? All right, look at question 2. Now this upside down U is how I see this symbol. That's an intersection. So the first one is a U for union, means everything, and intersection just simply means what they both have in common. So since -6 isn't a part of both sets, it's not going to be part of your answer. Whoops, let me turn on the answer over here. So the only 3 numbers or digits that both of these sets have in common are -1, 2, and 8. So intersections are always smaller groups than unions, or I should say almost always. Now, number 3 is asking about the complement of. The complement means basically like the opposite of. So since the universal setup here goes from the numbers from 1 to 10, the whole numbers from 1 to 10, and set A doesn't have a 1, then the complement of A would have a 1 in it because it's going to be what set A doesn't have, the opposite of a set A. Same thing with the complement of B. All right, so number 4, if we created a number line, we could graph what we see there. So is my pen going to write? Maybe. So if we graphed what we see up there, it says that X is between -10, not including -10, through -7, and I know that it includes -7 because of the symbol. So X can be anything from -10 to -7, including -7. And so of course, the way we get our parentheses or our brackets comes from either we have an open circle. So an open circle goes with the number 10, the -10, and the closed circle, which is the bracket, goes with a -7. And that's how, of course, it's written right here. All right, number 5, that is graphed for us. Those circles are both closed, so we know we're going to have brackets on both sides from -1 to -2 to +1. Oh my goodness. I thought I erased that. I'm sorry. But anyway, so number 6 is asking about the union of A and B. So I had graphed. It's hard to read, but I graphed from -6 to -1, which is part of graph or set A, and then I graphed set B, which is from -7, includes -7, to +6, that doesn't include +6. So remember, intersection union is any number that's in either set. And so that means that our full set would go from -7 up through almost 6, but not including 6. All right, so number 7 is very similar to that. You would graph it. This time it only wants the intersection. So our graph, make sure you only include the parts of the graph that are showing up in both sets. All right, so number 8 wants us to solve for k. So first thing we're going to do is distribute that negative sign to everything in the parentheses. So we're going to bring down our 5. The opposite of negative 3k is positive 3k. Oh my. Figure out how to write with this pen. The opposite of 6 is minus 6 is equal to negative 4k minus 1. So we're going to combine like terms. So 5 minus 6 is negative 1. And then I would add 4k to both sides. So if I add 4k, I didn't leave myself enough space over here, but 3k plus 4k is positive 7k. And these cancel out. So on the right side, I'm left with negative 1. So then I'm going to add 1 to negative 1 to get rid of this one over here. So 7k is equal to 0. And can I divide 0 by a number? Yes, I can. So my final answer is 0. K is equal to 0. Yep. All right, and then it asked me to solve for x. So you're going to do the same thing as we did up there. You're going to distribute the 0.25. You're going to distribute the negative 0.03. You're going to combine like terms. And your final answer is going to be 60. All right, number 10. In a Northwest Washington County, speeding fines are determined by the formula where F is the cost in dollars of the fine if a person is caught driving at a speed of S miles per hour. If a fine comes to $98, how fast was the person speeding? All right, so since the F is the cost of the fine, then we're going to substitute 98 for F. So we're going to turn my pen on. So we're going to make F 98, and we're going to set that equal to, we can distribute that 9, so 9S minus 45 times 9. 45 times 9 is 405. 405 plus 35. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is terrible. All right, so 98 is equal to 9S. And then negative 405 plus 35 is negative 370. Well, then I'm going to add 370 to both sides. So 98 plus 370 is 468. 468 is equal to 9R. And the last thing I'm going to do is divide both sides by 9. And my answer should be 52 miles an hour. So after I divide, I get 52 miles an hour. All right, so the next one, let me see. Let's go on down to number 12. So I'm not going to do 11, but the answer is 1967. Coffee break. All right, so number 12, after a 15% reduction, you purchase a new digital player for $416.50. What was the price of the digital player before reduction? So the sales price of the digital player was $416.50. And we want to know what the price before the reduction was. In other words, we want to know what full price was, right? Oh my goodness, I got to write better than this, you guys. I'm really better than that. It's just this pen is not being well behaved. Look, I wrote a 6. All right, so anyway, we don't know the full price, so that's our X. But we do know that whatever this full price is, they took the price, they took 15% off of it. So what is left? If I take 15% off of anything, what percent is left? Well, 85%. So I know that this sale price is 85% of the original price. So remember, all percents go over 100. So that would be our proportion. Sales price over original price. The sales price is 85% of the original cost. So they want us to write an equation, so we can do that. So now we can cross multiply. We can do 85x is equal to, if I multiply 416.5 by 100, I get 41,650. Yikes. Now I don't know what equation they're going to give. It might be something similar to that. Not really. But then we're going to get the same answer. We're going to get the same answer than that they would have gotten anyway. Because if you take 1, this is 1x minus 15x, that would be 0.85x. They just didn't multiply by 100 like we did. All right, so we got 41650 divided by 85, and my answer is $507. $507.93. Make sure that's right. Nope, it is not right. $507. So 41650. Oh, I divided by 82, you guys. Sorry, it's 85% divided by 85. Yep, there we go, 490. I divided by the wrong number, you guys. $490. There we go. I set it up good. I just didn't divide in my calculator by the right number. Woo! Okay, anyway, you already know the price is this $490. All right, so what do we do now? 13 is to solve the following inequality. Write the answer as an inequality and graph the solution set. So we want y by itself. So we're going to add 3 to both sides first. So then we have negative 3y is greater than or equal to, well, 3 plus 3 is 6. So then when I divide by a negative number, y'all remember what happens to the inequality? We flip it. So 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. And then we have to graph it. So we go to negative 2. We fill in our dot. And our arrow looks like our sign. And it's going to be pointing to the left. Okay. So hopefully this is bringing this back to your memory. I hope so. All right, that's another inequality. We'll do 14 or 15, but not both. Actually, number 16 is similar as well. So let's just do the one in the middle. Let's do number 15. So we want to solve this inequality, and then we're going to write our answer using interval notation. So the first thing we're going to do is get our x's together. So we're going to, what can we do? Let's add, well, I always want my variable on the left side for inequality. So actually we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. So negative 4x minus 3x will be negative 7x. And that gets one of my equalities, or one of my variables on the left side. Then, oh my gosh, it's supposed to be a 7. So then we're going to add 7 to both sides, plus 7, come on. So then we have negative 7x is greater than or equal to 14. Then we're going to divide by negative 7. That means we have to flip our sign. So 14 divided by -7 is -2. So first of all, if I graphed that, we would have -2, and that includes -2. It'd be filled in, and our arrow will be pointing to the right. So interval notation means that it goes from -infinity through -2, and since it includes -2, we would have our bracket. Good deal. All right. Let's look, that's just a formula using Fahrenheit and Celsius. All right, number 18 is asking basically about a function. Remember what functions are? It's when every x value has exactly one y value. So if you look at the first one, the y values do not repeat. So that is a function. Is the second one a function? It is. What about the third one? Is that a function? Nope, it has 2 1s. So the x value of 1 has multiple y values, so it's not a function. And neither is the last one. So the first two. All right, I guess we don't get to check that one. Oh, we do. Uh-oh. Select all of the following tables that represent y as a function of, oh, the second one's not a function. Did it switch around my answers? All right, so we know that now the first one is a function. I see that. The second one is not a function because it has 2 3s. Now the third one is a function. I think I messed up my answer somehow when I hit submit instead of this key. All right, so they agree with us. It's the first and third one now. All right, so number 19, that's just one where they want you to throw in -1 for x. So f of x, remember how it's written? There's a -1 in the place of the x, which means you're going to make -1, the x a -1. So -1 squared is 1, plus 2 times -1 is -2. So 1 combined with -2 is -1, and -1 plus -1 is -2. That's right. All right, so now number 20 wants us to do the same thing. They want us to tell them what y is when x is 1, so f of x. So 1 is x. So they want you to go up here and find 1 where x is 1, which is right here. And what is the value of y when x is 1? Well, it's a 4. So when x is 1, y is 4. But then look how this is written. F of x is equal to 1. That means y is equal to 1. So they want you to find, where is y 1? Well, y is 1 right here. What's the value of x when y is 1? Right there. So x is -3 when y is 1. This coordinate is literally -3, 1. So there we go. Number 21, we're finding the range and the domain. So the domain are the x values from left to right. The range is from bottom to top. Always start with the lowest number first. So how far, so if I made a rectangle around this picture, how far to the left does it go? Well, it starts with a -3 and it includes a -3. Starts with a -3. I don't know why my pen won't turn on. All right, nope, it's not gonna work. I don't know why. Anyway, it starts with a -3. And it goes up to +2. So from -3 to +2, -3 is included, 2 is not included. So we have our bracket with our -3 and a parentheses with 2. And then range from bottom to top, if we made a rectangle, the lowest x or y value would be -5, and it includes -5, and it goes up here and touches 4. So we'd have brackets on both sides from -5 to 4. So on this one, we would just simply type all of the x values on number 22 and then we type all the y values. But it's not a function because there's two 5s. It's not a function. All right, so what about this one? Coffee break. All right, it says the function z equals g of p equals negative p cubed minus 3 is obtained from a linear transformation of f of p equals p cubed. Choose the two below that describe this transformation graphically. So let's see. So we were at just p cubed, and now they made it negative p cubed and then minus 3. So I know that the minus 3 at the end shifts the graph down 3 units. So which one says down 3 units? Here we go, right there. My pen just won't work. There we go. And then let's see. A reflection of f of x about the p-axis, about the z-axis. It's got to be the z-axis. And then this one is, yep, shifting it down. Yep, because you go back to this original statement right here. All right, guys, that one's a little tricky. You got to look at that one closely. All right, so when it's asking you about a increasing interval, remember that's when your graph is going up and to the right, and decreasing is when your graph is going down and to the right. So it only goes up and to the right in one place. So it starts at, when x is negative 1, up through 2.5. So it's increasing when x is from negative 1. It starts increasing up through 2.5. At 2.5, it starts turning again. So we go from negative 1 to 2.5. And then there's actually 2 places where our graph is decreasing. So it's decreasing from negative infinity through negative 1. So this doesn't start here. It's coming, it's off the page and it's decreasing all the way till it gets here and then it turns up. So negative infinity to negative 1, and then it's, when we get up here at negative 2 or positive 2.5, it starts decreasing again for positive infinity. So we got 2 parts of our answers. So when you have 2 parts of your answer, make sure you combine them or stick them together with a U, the intersection of those 2 things. Okay? So decreasing means where on that graph is